Hi, my name is Ilene Rein. I'm an executive recruiter and job search strategist from Pounding Pavement 101. I have Greta Zutz here today. We are talking about what happens when you get laid off or you're looking for your next job. And what do you do with your health insurance, your life, your disability, retirement planning, budget and savings, and tax implications. We're doing a whole series on this because Greta is an expert. So thank you so much for being here and sharing this with my audience and your audience. Please introduce yourself.
Well, first of all, thank you, Eileen, for having me. This is such an important topic, so near and dear to my heart. It's really my passion to talk about. And I'm Greta Zutz. I'm with Center for Wealth Preservation. We're a financial planning firm that helps people with investments, insurance, and the plan beyond all of that. Employee benefits happen to be a passion of mine because I was someone who left a career at a very large corporation over a decade ago and had to figure out how to retain my benefits for my family. And I just saw that there was such a need, even back then, between getting the information to the client, the consumer, the person watching this video, and the information that's actually behind the curtain.
Yeah, because there's so much confusion. And I know when I've left jobs, because this isn't my expertise. My expertise is in recruitment and getting people hired. And I can go through benefits, but you are truly the expert. So today we're talking about life and disability insurance. And what do we do? All of a sudden you find yourself unemployed or there's a gap as you're going to the next job. What do you recommend?
Well, quite often, now, if you watched our health insurance video, that was very, very informative. But we talked a lot about in the health insurance video, the census. So the larger the company, to generalize, usually the wider or more expansive, or we could use the term better, the health insurance coverage. So the bigger the census, the bigger the pool, the bigger the risk, sometimes the better the care. Meaning sometimes when you leave a job, that's a very large company, and then you go individual as you continue your job search with Eileen, you might have had really unbelievable, the Mercedes-Benz of health insurance. And now you need to kind of downgrade for a moment, potentially, as you look for the next job. It's actually the reverse when it comes to life insurance and disability insurance. The larger the company, the larger the census, the bigger the group benefit, the less underwriting that the company has done. They're just looking at a number, how many women, how many men, how old, where do they live? Here's the pricing for the life insurance. Here's the pricing for the disability insurance. Here you go, company, here's the bill. Then the company takes a deduction for that bill and passes the benefit on to the employee. There's also something called supplemental or buy-ups that the employee might pay for themselves. But if you think about it, when you leave a job and that coverage is not portable, you can't take it with you, you are now on your own and uninsured. But when you go to get these types of coverage, life insurance and disability insurance, now you're buying individual policies. So your individual risk class, your health, your driving record, everything about your daily risk, habits, family history, and beyond is now subject to review. This could be a really good thing. This could be an interesting thing. So often we say, if you're about to leave a job and it's potentially available to you to buy up supplemental individual coverage that is portable, lots of words there. Can you take it with you? Are you paying for it on your own? That's what you want to know. If you're someone who has some health concerns, or maybe have spoken to an individual and think that you're uninsurable outside, it might be in your best interest to retain that portable supplemental coverage from the company before you leave. Otherwise, generally, it's recommended that you seek out an individual, someone like myself who's an expert, to get that coverage on your own and pay for it with your own after-tax dollars.
So if you find yourself in the situation where you've been laid off and you have to make these decisions, and actually you probably should be making these decisions before you jump ship. If you're going to a new career opportunity, does it make sense to speak with you in advance versus when it happens, just so this way you have a full understanding of what your options are?
Absolutely. If you call or ask for Who is this carrier that has our group life insurance? Who is the carrier that has our long-term individual disability insurance? I find that a lot of people don't even know that they've elected into these coverages or that this is part of their benefits plan. You saw it day one, you picked your 401k, you picked what deductible plan you wanted, and you just sort of didn't read most of the rest. That's very common. So don't feel bad if that's you. Most people will say, and I've worked with like very high level executives, and I've worked with brand new interns that are taking their job day one. It's sort of universal, unfortunately, that we don't know as employees what our benefits entail. So find out just even simply while you're still employed, when is your open enrollment? Can you get that benefit booklet downloaded? Usually it's a downloadable couple 100-page PDF that you'd want to send to someone like me for review so that your planner, your expert can help you pick which supplemental plans would even work for you. And then if that's not available to you, unlike the health insurance, if you watched our other video, you're going to need to work with someone to get these plans completely on your own. And you don't just buy them off the shelf like that. It's usually a 6 to 8 week time period. So that's quite a few weeks in there to have something up and running. Health insurance could be much quicker. Your rollover could be much quicker, jumping ahead to our next video. But with life insurance and disability insurance, you want to make sure you're working with a professional who can find you the best carrier. And then there's something called riders. Riders are add-ons that may or may not be something you need. I'm going to just talk about one rider on one type of policy. Disability insurance, that's the type of insurance that pays your income if you can't work. Very important. The more highly specialized you are, the more time you've spent on your education, the more important your income is to your family. Disability insurance is the hardest insurance to get approved for as an individual. I probably put in 10 to 15 applications a month. Less than a fourth of them actually get an offer. So this is just to set the expectation that you can't just decide to buy it when you need it. You really want to carry it. I would say individual coverage is something you should carry day one of working at any job and carry it through and never let it lapse, even if your job offers it. But there's one rider I just want to mention, student loan protection rider. So if you have your own individual insurance, disability insurance, and you add on for a couple dollars, it's not expensive, disability insurance, add on student loan protection rider. This is something new in the past few years. You might have up to an additional $2,500 a month coming to you tax-free to cover student loan payments and beyond if you are unable to work. That's
wow,
pretty huge.
I didn't know about that. So it sounds like we really need to speak with someone like you once a year. Even if you're fully employed, it's better to speak with someone outside because your HR department may not have all those answers and you are an individual and you want to make sure that you're getting the best coverage for yourself at the best price. So it sounds like it needs to be that annual thing. Take a weekend, take a day, evaluate your insurance, make sure that you have the proper coverage. You want to protect yourself, you want to protect your family, and reach out to you.
It's like when I started working with a nutritionist and she said, do you read labels? I'm like, I don't eat ketchup. Ketchup's full of sugar. She's like, right, but are you reading the food labels even if you're shopping in the natural aisle? And that opened my eyes to saying, okay, this says organic or this says natural and I'm just picking it up. But to actually looking at the fine print of it all is really your right as an employee. And also it's should be customary for you to understand what work is offering you. And even if you think, I'm going to stay at this job forever, I love this company, still really understanding what those group benefits mean. Because again, the company is picking those benefits. They're changing the benefits potentially every year. And they're just changing that based potentially just on a cost analysis, not on what's necessarily what you want in coverage. So having your own coverage to protect your income is extremely important. But sometimes we don't need to have those coverages either. So if you just won the lotto, forget about it. You don't need it. If you've got maybe, unlimited trust fund income, if your spouse has coverage. Now, here's where we talked about in an earlier video. If your spouse has health insurance coverage that you could go add on to with a job change, great. That's it. That's an amazing solution. You can't add on to a partner or a spouse's disability or life insurance. Those are individual policies that are underwritten. The risk is underwritten on your life specifically. So there used to be some kind of add-ons on the life insurance side to a spouse or partner, but it's really more recommended that you go get those coverages on your own. Why get it now? Why get it young? You'll never be this young. You'll never be this healthy. Back to my nutritionist example, maybe I'll get healthier. But the idea, both of those types of insurance, people will say, what's the cost? The cost is predicated on your age, if you're male or female, what your health history is, what your risk tolerance and different type of risk factors are. But again, you can do coverages where they're still affordable in the interim until you get newer or group coverage again. But you might want to look at and talk to someone who's an expert, not just interim coverage, but actual coverage that fills in where your work wasn't covering in both life insurance and disability insurance. Most group plans on life insurance are giving you 1 times salary. So if I die, my husband gets 1 times my salary paid to him, and because work paid for it and I didn't get charged, now that benefit's taxable to him, fully income taxable. That's maybe not enough to pay off the mortgage and take care of the children and everything else beyond. So making sure what you said before, annual reviews, don't blindly send up for your benefits. Talk to an outside professional, really understand what you have. You should be able to rattle it off. What do you have in long-term disability? 60% up to 10, but the first 2 years are ONOC. Lots of jargon there, but that's something our firm will do. We'll help you understand those benefits. When and if you're then changing jobs, you can explore adding on supplemental.
This is absolutely incredible information and certainly opening my eyes to a lot of things. And I'm going to go and check my insurance benefits right after we're done with this. So I want to remind everyone to subscribe to get alerts every time we post new content like this. I'm going to be following this conversation with Greta. We're going to be doing this in pieces because there's so much great information that you're sharing that I don't think we can take it all in one video. So we're going to continue this series about health insurance, life disability insurance, retirement funds, budgets and savings and tax implications, all for job seekers, for career professionals, people who have been laid off, people who are looking to move to their next career opportunity. Any kind of situation that you're making a change, you need to reach out to an expert like Greta. So this way you know what the implications are and you get the best advice that you can to make sure that you're covered and your family is covered. Greta, thank you. We're going to continue the conversation. My name is Ilene Rein. I'm an executive recruiter and a job search strategist from Pounding Pavement 101. See you in the next video.